Okay guys, so today we're going to be working out a question that I think a lot of us have had, particularly during the coronavirus pandemic, and that's the question of why did God let this happen? We're going to have a look at that. I was asked that by an unbelieving family member in regards to the coronavirus, and I tried my best to do the whole, this is evil happens and we can't always understand, but these are some possible ways, etc. But so now we're just going to really look into it. I'm not saying any of this is theologically accurate. This is me writing as I think. It's just a philosophical, just thought process. So okay. So the first part of that question, if we just break it down into bits, is how can an all-good God allow evil and suffering? So I've put evil and suffering because I believe God is all good, so I don't really want to go into that. I think that's just in his nature, and evil is against his nature. So how can an all good God, I think that's all right, allow evil and suffering? So I see two types of evil and suffering. First is human evil, such as like murder and abuse, and I think that is caused by humans' free will, humans' fallen nature, humans wanting to hurt other people, and I don't think that is anything to do with God. Although God obviously can stop that, but we'll get into that in a minute. And the second part is stuff like natural evil, per se, which is like floods and fires and illness, which aren't caused by people. But I think I think we should look into why natural evil then happens. So, God in nature. So then how much control does he have over nature? So he either, there's two types, he either has full control with omnipotence, he's all powerful, or he has limited input because he gave humans free will, and we cause natural disasters through pollution and stuff like that. And Satan also roams onto around the earth, so he gave up a bit of his control to Satan. But either way, God does have the power to heal any disease or stop any fire or floods. Ultimately, God has ultimate control, so even though we might have surrendered a bit of his control, which is another theological debate, God can stop that, so God has control. So we'll come to the first conclusion, which is that we live in an evil-filled world, and our free will and Satan's hold causes unfair evil. So we have some of the causes of evil there, right? But now, why does God allow evil? God maybe can stop it, but so why doesn't he stop it? So two outputs. God either has control to stop evil or doesn't have control to stop evil, and I believe God definitely has full power to stop evil. So now, why would God want us to suffer? He doesn't. In God's perfect world, in his perfect kingdom, there will be no pain, but we as humans have allowed sin and evil forces into the world. But Jesus came to save us from that. So God came down, God sent his son to save us from that, so that one day we can all live in God's perfect creation. So God doesn't want us to suffer. So why would God allow us to suffer then? So maybe testimony to help other broken people and give them a hope. With evil that kills, is grim, but we're all going to die. And maybe when God plans to take people to heaven, we should trust him. Although that itself is another big question, and maybe he allows evil because it is a fallen world and we are making the world an evil place, and evil happens in evil places. So the little conclusion we've came to: we live in a fallen world with fallen people and fallen laws of nature. God can stop evil, but we often bring it on ourselves or can't understand fully why it's happening in our four-dimensional view. God can stop evil, but he does not cause it, so we need to stop blaming him. God can stop evil, but he doesn't cause it. So don't say, why has God allowed this to happen? Why has God done this? Why has God done that? Maybe it's not God causing it. God wanted to help us, and he so loves us that he sent his son to die so that he can be that close to us. That's how much he cares about us suffering. And finally, one day God's kingdom will come and none of us will know suffering, and that's the part that we should focus on.